Good morning to day 164. 164. Got a few guys in today. Looks like Saturday's the main day in Barbados because obviously they can do their shopping and stuff like that. So we've got more people in today. The rebar team have got more people here as well. So they've got guys up on this main roof here, which is a big old roof as we know. And we've also got people up on this roof here, which is half the size of that one without the overhang. So at the moment we have 1, 2, 3 carpenters. So one team in. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 rebar boys. We've got supervisor, Mr. Beckles. We have 1, 2, 3 labourers I can see, but I think there's a couple around the back as well. So I think that's 5. Yeah, so we've got a few guys in, being a Sunday. So today's goal, we've got to get some blocks, 6-inch blocks for the front grease trap. I've got to get loads of bolts. As you can see, this one has actually been bolted on now in the front. So we've got to get bolts for this piece here all the way around that building. We've also got to get it for this one on the other side, so this whole length on the other side of the building, and this side and this side here. So probably around about 60 4 or 5 foot lengths of threaded steel, plus all the bolts and washers, because that's basically to, as you can see, these are 4 foot. It's bolting them on so that when the concrete goes in, we don't get it flying off, because there's a hell of a lot of weight and force that goes in when the concrete is applied. So we've got to get that sorted out today. We had the ply delivered yesterday, so we should be okay with ply hopefully today. They're nearly finished with that. Ply wise, all we've got to do now is the overhang that comes off of here. As you can see, the 2 foot sides going on now. So this will actually have on here, I'm trying to do it on the phone. This will have a 5'4" overhang coming out, which they'll obviously have to prop up. That's got to be done. And they still need to make the 4 foot boxing for the front of this building. We've actually got, I would say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 or 11 of them already made up, but we're going to need 10 for the front of the building and 8 for the side of the building. So we're probably going to have to make up a few more. So that'll probably be another 4 or 5 sheets of ply, plus the 4x2s, etc., to make that boxing. And they can go up and they can be bolted in place as well. Saying that, we've still got that side of the building to do as well. So yeah, probably a little bit more than that. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are on that. And then we've actually got a double layer of steel going into the base of the steps. We've chosen to keep the underneath of the steps empty, hollow, rather than filling it with marl or going onto something. So when I see what you mean, underneath here is hollow. So in order for this to not have any form of movement or shake, being hollow underneath, we'll have a BRC on the floor itself that should be in 2 inches of concrete, and then this rebar will also go down as well. So there'll be 2 levels of steel in this. It's a 17 foot staircase with 7, 8 runs as well, with a big landing. So it's quite a big lump. It's going to take a shed load of concrete as well. So that's got to be right. So these are obviously been pre-made already. They're waiting to go in. But we can't put those in until the steel is done. Obviously the benching in some of the manholes has taken place. One over the road is going to be done in a minute. The ones at the front will be done as well. We still need to build the grease trap at the front as well, so we can get that one benched at the same time. Yes. Mainly that's it. It's the roof. Rebarring the roof, installing the beams, so that on Wednesday we are fully prepared. At this present time, there's going to be shed loads of concrete being poured, so we need shed loads of steel to make sure it's supported properly. So I think in the next 2 days they'll get both roofs completed where the rebar's concerned. We're probably going to have to make another tray, if not 2 trays of smocks. Again, we'll go 2 inches because that gives us, on a 6-inch slab, it'll give us around about 3 to 4 inches worth of coverage. There's trays already down here made. So there's one broken out on the floor already here. There's one in the tray waiting to be broken out, and there's more over here. Again, I think they're 3-inch and 2-inch. Yeah, I think they're 3-inch, and I think these are 2s and these are 2s. we should be okay. More wood coming out. Looks like we're going to have one big bonfire at some stage. Not too sure where this wood's coming from actually. You can see all that wood in there. So much bloody wood. Wood is so expensive as well. We also need to strip the staircase at some stage today as well, or this week at least. So we're ready for that to be done. And we just need the labourers clearing up. I mean, there's plastic conduit everywhere. So again, we just that's good stuff. So we get that all up, get that put back in the container, get this all stripped off so we can actually use the formwork itself. There's a 2-foot formwork, for instance, on the side there. They can go straight on the front here, saves them having to build anything. But anyway, and then obviously these bars themselves, they're ready to go up into here. And then what you'll see in here as well, by the way, you'll see the front of the beam taller. I'll show you what I mean.
Yes,
how are you? You okay?
Yeah, fine, thanks.
So you see the beam itself on this side, so from 30 foot, so 10 foot from here, so it's a 40-foot building, 30 foot from here, the beam is bigger. That is where it's going to house the beam and floor that's going to come this way. So there'll be a beam coming off of here, a beam in the middle, and a beam at the back coming right over and connecting to here, and this will be one massive concrete roof going over here. So the beam protrudes out because obviously the roof is going to go up and across. So this will be flush with a parapet, and this will obviously land up coming up about another 8 inches taller than that. And they'll do the rebar coming out of this piece as well at some stage, so you can see where the actual the rebar is coming out of the wall. That is where obviously the rebar will come up and come all the way along, and again, after we finish pouring both roofs, then we'll start rebarring and boxing up the roof itself. The formwork can come down here and go straight up into the roof here, and we can get that done as well. I think I showed you the actual floor in here, how they've had to support up the water tank. So this is the water tank area. So initially what they've done is they've obviously put 2x4s in the wall. They've used the 8x3s that we're going to be using to house the floor in here to support across. They're acroed up and then acroed up. So the roof itself has been supported by 2 lots of acros. And obviously there'll be a shed load of weight going onto there, because obviously that's where the concrete's going to go. And eventually what we'll do is obviously we'll do it properly. There'll be 8x3s along here, 8x3s along here, and then we'll have 8x3s every 24 inches centred all the way along. But this is the only building at the moment I won't be finishing quickly, just purely because the windows are still yet to be made and sent. So that's one thing we are going to be unfortunately waiting for. So I'll have to have a look at how I board that up, finish it, plaster it, get it all done inside, and then board it up for now until we're ready for the windows to be delivered. So that's that. This obviously is all going to stay in because it's still going to be supporting upstairs and this side. So all of that formwork that we actually made and put in will stay in for now. And all the acros in here, they've all got to be tightened and adjusted. So yes, they're all in, but they're not doing what they need to be doing at the moment. So they normally pull a line from one side of the roof to the other to ensure they're not getting any sag. I think there is a line in there. If there's one over there, but you can just see a line just in between those two there. So there's one line in here, so we'll have to pull lines on all of the actual roofs themselves and make sure that all of the acros are up and tight to ensure that as and when the weight is applied, we don't get a huge sag. We'll do the same in here as well. And obviously the beam upstairs, it's going to go from here across this piece, is actually going to be coming upwards in this room. So again, rather than being down like this one has actually got a supporting wall that's going to be coming down here anyway. Supporting wall, sorry. This is going to have a bedroom wall, so this will be directly above it. So we decided to come down for this one to not play around with the infrastructure of the drainage upstairs, and also it's going to sit on a wall and it can continue down. But in here, this is going to be 12-foot flush ceilings. So the beam is actually going to be boxed upwards. So the roof will be flush 6 inches, but then there'll be another 6 inches coming up of column. Sorry, beam that will be concreted solid up there as well. So again, that'll have to be treated for obvious reasons. But yeah, the guys have done a good job in here. So they're very, very close to finishing off. Then it's obviously the outside 5'4" overhang, and it's the external 4-foot formwork. And then within reason, the building is ready. So we're making good progress. We need to get that finished over there, for God's sake. I don't know why that's not done yet. Let's get that done. And we also still need to get the foyer finished. The previous carpenters haven't finished that side, and they also haven't finished the foyer. So the foyer couldn't be finished because at the time these walls weren't at height and this beam wasn't in. So we can now take this formwork all the way around, and we can get the actual boarding put over as well. So I'll try and get that done today, so I'm finished. Other than that, so I mentioned it's like Groundhog Day, but it's not. It's just we're doing the same thing every day because it's a big job. So today again, rebar, formwork, and roof. They're the main things we have to do. Plus a bit of benching obviously. So let's see how Sunday goes. Lots taking place, so let me quickly go around and show what the hell's going on. Removing all the 2-foot formwork from above on the fascia here, all the way along, because that can be reutilised. So Rick and his team are doing that. Lots of banging going on upstairs because the rebar is actually laying down. I've had a little bit of a sweep up in here to get things a bit more organised, which is good. Team of carpenters upstairs finishing. So they've now plugged in the gap here. There is a big hole there, so I need to obviously patch over that. So any solutions out that anyone knows that I can actually put in that seals gaps that also comes off the formwork pretty easy. So whether it's applied from upstairs or downstairs, I need to be able to cover these gaps, but also remove it so I can resell or reuse. So any ideas on what to use? Obviously there's fixer-foam, there's silicone, there's duct tape, but there must be something that formwork guys use in particular that works best. So let me know. Also out here, starting the 5'4" overhang. So formwork's going on the front, as you can see. The overhang itself is coming out on both sides. I've got all the 80 props, jacks, acros. We need 2 every 2 foot all the way along here. So I've got to go and do that. The rebar boys are up here finishing the rebar on the roof here, installing and finishing. And the steel is at the top, obviously for the overhang for the roof. They'll also start that on this side as well. We've also got Anthony and the guys actually doing the benching inside. And the steps ready for the boys to start rebarring. So, lots going on. Another team of carpenters are going to be starting in the hallway here, finishing off the actual main foyer boxwork coming through as well. So that's going to be starting. This new guy here, who's known to people on the job. So yeah. Lots going on. I know I need to go and spend some time with my wife, do some shopping, and also get to Humans to order some material. We need a large amount of threaded bolts. What else do we need? We need the nuts, the washers to go with it. We're going to need to order the jacks. At this present time, we are on target to get this thing finished by Tuesday so we can pour Wednesday. So, but obviously materials can always cause a bit of a problem where that's concerned. So let me go and start the wheels in motion on that, otherwise we'll go up against it. So I'll check in later on. 10 to 5. Just returned. Loads of materials for the guys for tomorrow. Ooh. Got the they've got the inner formwork put up. I would have thought they would have had that finished today. That was quite simple, that job. Okay, so in here they concentrated mainly on the outside today. So they finished off most of the boxing throughout the actual building itself here, and getting the boxing off of the front to reutilise the boxing down the sides. So yeah, all the boxing's off in here now, so we now have a shelf. So in the bedroom area there's like a 2-foot shelf here, look, and it's the same in the living area as well. And all that boxing's now been taken off and they can reutilise that on the front of the building, which is great. Let's have a quick look at the front. Front, always call it the front. I suppose the road's the front. Okay, good lads. So, sorry about the pig face. 5.5 foot overhang. This is now showing what the front of the house is going to end up having, which is awesome. Okay, let's go around here so I can see. So the overhang is taking shape. Big overhang. So that pretty much shows obviously what the front of the house is going to look like. Obviously It's going to be 12 inches up the side, and then it'll be 12 inches above the formwork all the way along. So it looks like they have plenty of ply, which is good. These carpenters, for some unknown reason, didn't turn up. Our secondary set that were meant to be in here didn't arrive for some unknown reason. So nothing was done on here today, which is, well, the rebar was done upstairs, obviously. The rebar boys were here cutting away, so we do need to get that swept off because that will turn to rust in no time. They were cutting their rebar up here today, which makes complete sense because obviously they're just loading extra up to the top floor. But the downside to that now means we have loads of very, very small, microscopic parts of metal now on our floor, which means we need to sweep that sooner rather than later. If I was here, I would have gotten to do that before they went. So we need to get that done now. The guys were also working on the manholes downstairs, weren't they? So, yeah, it looks like the inside has been tanked in there, look. So I don't know what that looks like. That one looks immaculate. So they've been doing that one. They worked on finishing that one, and I think they were going to start on that one over there as well. There is the doorway that's been created in there. So I mean, again, that can land up being storage at some stage, but at the moment that's mainly been created so that we can get the jacks out once it's been poured. This is what I mean by the dust on the floor. You can't really see it, it's all grey, but if we leave that overnight, that will literally be rust in no time. So I'm going to go and get a broom if I can find one, and give that a quick sweep out. Somebody's tape measure bit the dust. Looks like a Beckles tape measure. God, you can really feel the heat here. There's a lot of heat. Yeah, so a lovely overhang, good size. I thought that those guys would have actually had their done. I mean, literally, they had half a day to get that done. 5 hours. 5 hours, and they managed to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bits of ply up and 2 bits of 4x2. Such a different world here. That would have been smashed out and done in England. But anyway, I've got to get that done tomorrow. Finished off tomorrow. They've obviously got a box in the end of this column here, so make sure the concrete doesn't pour out of there. We've also got to come up with a solution. Might as well get another bit of board in there. It's not a great fit. I mean, duct tape might be okay. We'll be able to put a couple of coats of duct tape on there. That should hold it, hopefully. 2 jacks left. Not too sure where all the other jacks have gone. Where have the other jacks gone then? Oh, okay. They've got them on, obviously holding the front up. So they put some out, obviously holding the front up. So I say, where they gone? So we probably need another 30 to 40 jacks minimum. Ideally, we need to put two wide, and we need to have them every 2 foot down here. So this is 80 foot. Every 2 foot means 40 times 2 is 80. Probably need 80 jacks through here. That's going to be a lot of concrete on there. So we've got to make sure also that it get some levels on it, make sure everything's good before we set that in place as well, and make sure that's 100%. Okay, let's have a quick look at what they've done up. So to a certain extent, most of this is pretty much done. It's all tied together really well. Most of the smocks are in already. The beam is in. I would say apart from the external 4 foot surrounds that needs to go down that side and along this side here, and potentially some starter beams that will go through this beam here, we're pretty much done on here. Good job. I think we need to look at jacking this floor up though. It does look like it's sagging very slightly in the middle, so I have to look at the jacks downstairs, pull a line and get those jacked up properly, otherwise we'll end up having a sag in the roof. But other than that, great job up here, that's good. Now we'll find a way of trying to get up there somehow. And up on the main house, this is what we're seeing so far. So the rebar is actually nearly complete, fair play to them. A lot of work's gone into it today, that's for sure. It's one big floor to be doing in one day. So newer steel at the back. Over there needs to be sprayed up as well, so we need to get that sorted. And these guys need to come down here obviously with the boarding so they can finish off there as well. But yeah, so far all of it's tied in. A lot of it's got smocks underneath already. Then they can come across, do the extras out of here and go over the main beam once that's propped up, so they can't really go out on there until the main stilts are in, but They have got a lot of them in already. Not too sure how they're accessing the roof. I'm on a ladder at the moment. I'm about 3 feet too short, so not too sure how they're getting up here. But anyway, it's a big old roof, that's for sure. And then we've got a massive roof going over this as well at some stage, so lots to do, but we are making massive progress. I think we will be ready for Wednesday. So as long as we get a little bit more in process for Monday morning, tomorrow morning, if I manage to get the props in, manage to get the wood in, manage to make sure anything material-wise they need on site as soon as possible, then we could be in luck to get this done definitely for Wednesday. I finish in Tuesday. I want to finish ideally early as possible Tuesday, so that we can spend most of Tuesday just technically going around and making sure that, you know, snagging this and checking that and remeasuring this, and if we can try and do that, then that means that we are definitely prepared for Wednesday. If we're still working in Tuesday, then we're going to be up against it. But at the moment it is looking like we might be okay. So again, looking good. So get this bit done tomorrow morning so they can crack on over, and then get the stilts in tomorrow, so get those up so they can go over there as well, and then hopefully by close of play tomorrow we should be on a rebar front done, and then it's just external boxing, thank God. Happy Sunday.